Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Hannah-Lynn Miller. I am a licensed therapist and your host. And today we're diving into a topic that has completely transformed how I understand relationships. It's helped me in my personal life and in my work with clients. And we're talking about attachment styles. I am on maternity leave and I'm having a lot of fun. And you know you're on maternity leave when your desk has literally become just like the dumping ground for everything. So if you hear a baby in the background, she's going to sleep, and I might pause this a couple of times. We're talking about attachment styles. Now, I know attachment theory has become really popular lately, and you've probably seen it all over social media. But today, I'm going to go beyond the surface level stuff, and here are some practical, research-based strategies that can actually help you develop a more secure relationship. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. First, let's clear something up right away. Attachment styles are not personality types. This is such an important distinction, and your attachment style isn't who you are. It's a pattern you developed in response to your early experiences, particularly with your caregivers. So when you were young, you developed this attachment style. And there's really a hopeful part to this, right? There's only one healthy attachment style, and that's the secure attachment. And everyone can develop this, even though you've experienced what you experienced growing up. Everything else, attachment style-wise, the anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, disorganized attachment, these all represent patterns we can understand and heal from. And they're not permanent labels we're stuck with forever. They can change. So what does secure attachment actually look like? Secure individuals see criticism as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. They communicate their needs effectively without fear or guilt. They navigate conflict in healthy ways that bring people closer together rather than pushing them apart. They can express their feelings in ways that strengthen trust and deepen connection. Now, let's talk about the two main insecure attachment patterns. If you have an anxious attachment style, your core wounds might be a fear of abandonment and rejection, a belief that you're not worthy of consistent love, a deep need for validation and reassurance, and often feeling like you're too much for others. On the other hand, if you lean more avoidant, your core wounds might look different. You might fear emotional intimacy and vulnerability, believe that you must be completely self-sufficient. You have a deep-seated distrust of others' intentions or fear of losing your independence in relationships. You might also have this belief that you are not made for relationships, that you're really, really bad at it. That is more of the avoidant attachment style. And here's what's really interesting. I've learned from Thais Gibson that these wounds aren't just from our primary caregivers. They can also develop through significant relationships throughout our lives. But those earliest relationships, they set the foundation for how we view connection. So here's the question everyone wants answered. How do we actually heal these patterns? How do we move towards secure attachment? And this is where the science gets really interesting. One of the most powerful methods I've encountered is the subconscious reprogramming. So now say with me here, this isn't about positive thinking or just telling yourself everything's fine. This is about working with how your brain actually processes and stores emotional information in your brain. Here's what you need to know. Your subconscious mind speaks in images, not words. So it doesn't understand logic in the same way your conscious mind does. So when we want to heal attachment wounds, we need to provide our subconscious with concrete experiences that contradict our core beliefs. So let me give you an example. If your core wound is, I'm not worthy of consistent love, you're going to identify specific times in your life when someone did show up for you consistently. Not a hypothetical situation, a real memory. Times when someone was there for you, chose you, valued you, stayed present with you, and you're going to stay in that moment. So let me walk you through the actual process. It's a game changer so that you might actually be able to do this on your own. You might want to take some notes. Okay, step 1, identify your core attachment wound? What's the deep belief driving your insecure patterns? And write it down. Step 2, think of 10 specific memories that contradict this wound. These need to be real experiences from your life. Close your eyes and visualize them in detail. What did you see, hear, and feel? Okay, the more sensory details that you can recall, the better. Step 3, create personalized affirmations based on these actual memories. So use present tense language that include emotional elements. So for example, I am worthy of consistent, reliable love. I remember when, and put that specific person, showed up for me every day for a month when I was going through a difficult time. Or specific person brought me a meal when I was sick. Okay, record yourself speaking these affirmations and memories, and that's crucial. Speak slowly with emotional conviction. Include brief pauses between statements. Keep the total recording under 10 minutes, okay? And establish a daily listening routine. Listen to your recording upon waking or before sleep. And these are the times when your subconscious is the most receptive, okay? Maintain this practice for a minimum of 21 days and create a calm environment when you're listening. So this is all stuff that I've learned from Thais Gibson, and you can follow her for more. But that's something that I feel like is a really good practical exercise that you can do to start training your mind to stop thinking in those insecure attachment styles and start healing your attachment style towards a secure attachment. Now, I want to share something that gave me personally so much hope in my own healing journey. We can give ourselves what we feel our caregivers were unable to give us or didn't give us, and we're adults now, right? So we have the power to meet our own emotional needs. And I think about being able to identify what we were missing that created the insecure attachment is honestly half of the battle. When you can identify that, you suddenly realize that you have control, okay? You're not a victim here. You can work on your own secure attachment, which leaves you with so much less hopelessness and so much more agency with how you react and show up in your relationships. As Thais Gibson beautifully puts it, a beautiful thing about attachment is that it can be earned at any point in our lives. We can become our own secure base by consistently showing up for ourselves in ways that our caregivers did not or couldn't. For those of you who are people of faith, I also want to touch on something that has been really meaningful for me. In the context of Christianity, attachment theory offers a profound framework for understanding our faith relationships, right? So just as our attachment styles influence human connections, they can also shape our relationship with God. Many Christians view God as this ultimate secure base, a divine parent who is consistently available, responsive, and unconditionally loving. The biblical narrative frequently portrays God as a loving father and Jesus as a secure attachment figure who provides that comfort and safety. And for those of us with insecure attachment patterns from earthly relationships, developing a secure attachment to God and ourselves can be really, really healing. It offers what psychologists call a corrective emotional experience, and Christian spiritual practices like prayer, worship, meditation, and can function as activities that strengthen our secure attachment to God and others. But here's something important to acknowledge. Insecure attachments with people in our lives and faith communities can actually hinder our ability to view God as a safe haven for our emotions and needs. And this is where those reprogramming techniques are really important, not just for human relationships, but for our relationship with God too. And scripture meditation focused on God's character and nature can serve as another powerful resource for healing insecure attachment patterns. When you combine the psychology tools and the spiritual practices, you're working on multiple levels at the same time. And the community aspect of faith, that provides opportunities to practice that secure attachment behaviors with others while being held in God's greater love. The spiritual dimension of attachment offers many believers an additional pathway towards healing and growth beyond purely psychological approaches. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with some encouragement in the journey towards secure attachment. Remember that progress isn't always linear, and that's perfectly okay. Whether you're working towards habits, healing anxious tendencies, avoidant patterns, or a mix of both. Each step forward is worth celebrating. And the beauty of this work is that it belongs to you. You get to decide how to heal and grow in your unique way. And so be gentle with yourself, celebrate your small wins. Know that with consistent practice, you'll create healthier relationships towards yourself and others. You're not trying to become someone else. You're healing the parts of you that adapted to survive in whatever circumstance you were growing up in. Some practical takeaways for this week is start noticing the evidence that contradicts your core wounds. Okay, so that's a great place to start. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might benefit from hearing from it. And if you're working on your own attachment healing, I would love to hear about your journey, what has helped you. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Hannah Lynn Miller, LPC. Remember, you're worthy of secure, loving relationships, and you have the power to create them. And you can start today. Here's to becoming more secure one day at a time. Thanks for listening to the Abundantly More podcast with Hannah Lynn Miller.